Hey everyone, what is going on, and welcome back to today's video. And in today's video, we're diving back into another operator guide brought to you on this beautiful Sunday. So in this operator guide, we're going to be diving into Kavira, as you guys can tell from the title. And yeah, there's just nothing else really to say. We're diving into Kavira. Now, before we dive into this video, we have to dive into who we're going to be doing in next week's video. So in next week's video, there's going to be 3 votes down. And the way I do this is you go down the comment section down below. I'm not actually going to be able to do that. I just realized because, okay, so I'm just going to pick the operator for next week. So next week, who are we going to do? Next week, we're going to do Jackal. So Jackal's going to be next week's operator. I apologize for the voting system, but I just realized I'm going to be at basketball, so I'm not even going to be able to put the comments down below, which means majority of the first hour or so viewers aren't going to be able to vote, so it's not really going to be fair. So I'm just going to pick an operator. We're going to do Jackal next week. So Jackal's going to be coming up next week in next week's operator's guide, and now we got out of the way, let's dive into the Kavira guide. So starting off, as always, we're going to start off with her weapon review, then we're going to move on to her gadget utilization, and finish off with her operator strategies. So without further ado, let's dive into the weapon review. Cav has access to 2 pretty strong weapons in her primary arsenal. She has the M12 submachine gun that does 40 damage on 550 rounds per minute. This is an incredibly powerful weapon. I would recommend it as your primary weapon that you take. The shotgun's good, but I don't really see it as, it really doesn't come in handy much, but it can be useful if you are good with the Louisan, which I am not. I don't know if you guys will notice, but in the background I don't use a pistol at all, and you guys don't want to know what happened when I tried to use a pistol in these clips. You just don't want to know. So yeah, the M12, it's a great submachine gun. It has a pretty solid damage count for a submachine gun, if I'm going to be completely honest. And yeah, other than that, it has a 550 rounds per minute fire rate. I'm not sure if I already said that, but this thing is just a pretty solid weapon to bring on the attacking side, and it's definitely a good thing to bring with the Louisan, which is kind of her style weapon, but obviously pistols aren't everyone's thing, especially mine. Coming in next, we do have the Spaz 15 shotgun, which does 30 damage on basically an as fast as you can shoot fire rate, which is pretty solid in my opinion. 30 damage, it's not the most damaging shotgun, obviously, there is obviously much better, but it is still a pretty solid shotgun. But in my opinion, I'd definitely prefer taking the M12 over this, but that's just my personal opinion, obviously, depending on how you guys like to play, whether you like to utilize the Louisan, or if you like to utilize the M12 as your ranged weapon. That's really where you get to make that decision. So if you don't like the Louisan at all for long range and you kind of use it for this close range when you know you're going to get a kill, I'd bring the M12. But if you feel pretty confident using the Louisan and you'd like to utilize this shotgun, I'd definitely recommend doing that. And yeah, that's basically the best strategy I'd say to bring in terms of weapons. And now, getting into a secondary weapon, she only has access to one, and it is the world-renowned Louisan. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm saying it wrong in the comments below, but this pistol does 65 damage, apparently, on a trigger finger fire rate, so it's basically just however you guys want to, however fast you guys want to shoot is how much you'll hit with this thing. But the only problem is, its consistency and damage drop-off is horrendous in my opinion. This thing does like 2 damage if you get any further than 1 meter away from the enemy. That's why I said apparently when in terms of 65 damage, apparently. If you guys are new to this game, that's my little explanation. But otherwise, I'd say this pistol it's not bad. It's not a bad pistol. It's definitely one of the strongest pistols in the game. There's no doubt about that. But just all around, I really don't like it. Like Cav for me personally is someone I don't like, but obviously you guys wanted me to bring this guide to you, so I'll bring this guide to you. But some of the things, just everything about Cav just doesn't really suit me in my opinion. So that's why I'm just probably not going to speak the highest of her in this video. Maybe a bit of a biased opinion if I'm going to be completely honest. So just keep an eye out for that. If you see anything that's kind of like cocky or anything, make sure to roast me in the comments below. But this pistol all around is still a good pistol, and I definitely have no hate for it. Obviously, it's the only secondary you can bring, so I can't really give you any suggestions in terms of that. But as I said before, in terms of primary, which I can suggest, it really depends if you can utilize that Louisan to the full capabilities or not, whether you should bring an alternative range weapon that will help you out, or a shotgun where you can use the Louisan as a range. Completely up to you. Now in terms of her gadget, she has access to the impact grenades and the proximity alarm. Seems how Cav is such a hard roamer, I'd 100% recommend you bring the impact grenades because they just work way better with Cav's loadout in my opinion, and you should definitely utilize them as best as possible. Proximity alarms are still great, but I'd recommend using them when you're playing an anchoring operator so you can utilize them and make use out of them personally, because it will help your team if you put them on site. But I'd say if you're roaming, impacts are going to help you out if you get stuck in a room that you can impact out of, and that's happens a lot while you're roaming, so I definitely recommend you bring the impact grenades with Cav. Now diving into her gadget utilization. Now her gadget utilization isn't really a handheld gadget, it is the silent step. So all you basically do is just press your ability button. I'm not sure what it is on your mouse and keyboard or your PlayStation, but it's RB on my Xbox, and basically once this ability, you go a lot quieter than you would initially do, and that's about it. That's all her ability really does. It just makes you quiet. I have really no idea how to explain how to utilize this, but pairing this up with the roaming side of Cav, which we'll get back into in the operator strategies, I'd say if you don't have to use this ability at all times. The best time to use this is when you are hearing enemies in your vicinity and you want to utilize that silent step in that situation. That is probably the best time to do it. But you don't have to have it on at all times. It doesn't make you faster. This is a general misconception I've heard a lot. Activating this ability does not make you faster, even though it may seem like it does. It doesn't. So there's no point really using it in the prep phase. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with using it in the prep phase if you're just messing around. It recharges quite quickly, so there's really no problem with doing that. But otherwise, I'd just say try not to waste it in situations where you don't need to use it. I'd say that's the best tip I can give you. Only use it when you really need it, so you make sure you can utilize that silent step as best as possible when you're actually in situations where you need to be quiet. And otherwise, I'm not really sure how else I can give you tips on how to use a silent step. It's really not anything to do, but there is another part of Cav that does come with the whole build-up of her that's not really mentioned here, but it is basically part of her ability, which is the interrogation. Now, if you guys didn't know, I didn't mention this before, but the Louisan does not kill people, it only injures people. And when you knife someone with Cav, it injures them as well instead of killing them. The reason it does this is because Cav has the ability to interrogate someone when they're injured, which when it is successfully completed, if you don't get killed while you're doing it, or someone leaves the game before you can get on top of them, it gives the location away of the whole attacking team that is still alive. I'm not sure exactly how long for, but it's at least 10 seconds. This is quite a solid amount of time to give away the attacker's position, and this really disadvantages an attacking team whenever someone gets interrogated, which is probably the best part about Kavira in my opinion. But the only problem with interrogations, if I'm going to go on a little rant here, the only problem with interrogations is when someone does successfully nail down an interrogation, it turns the whole defending side into absolute psychopaths, and everyone just starts rushing everything, and it can be more of a negative impact to the team than a positive, because it turns everyone that crazy that if the attacking team is smart and sets up in good positions, can utilize pretty well. So just a little word of warning for any of you guys watching this. If you guys do happen to get into interrogation, or you are playing with someone playing Kavira and she gets an interrogation, do not rush the people. It is the most annoying thing when someone gets an interrogation. Everyone starts rushing the 1 or 2 people left alive, and everyone fucking dies. Just a little word of warning, please, from your homeboy V Extinction. Stop rushing. That's all I have to say. Now we're going to move on to the operator strategies. Now, operator strategies for Cav. This is where I determine whether she's an anchorer or a roamer. If you are anchoring with Kavira, you need to reconsider life. There is absolutely zero purpose on anchoring site with Kavira. Her ability basically makes you quiet. There is no need to be quiet when you're anchoring a site because you're defending a site. There is absolutely no point being quiet. And you definitely do not have any chances at interrogating anyone on site unless it's a 1v1 and you injure them while they're securing. And you just want to be a cocky cunt, so you decide to interrogate them. These are basically the only times I can ever see myself actually using Kavira on site, and both of them are absolutely useless reasons to use Kavira on site. If you're picking Cav and you're not roaming, you're wasting the pick, if I'm going to be completely honest. So make sure to get your roam on when you're playing Cav. Best way to utilize Cav as a roam has basically already been pointed out. Make sure you roam hard with her. She is someone who can play the other side of the map and still be safe because she's a very individual roamer. She doesn't need much help. She has impact grenades to help her out. She has silent step to help her out, and she has the interrogation if she catches someone. And this is the best thing to utilize if you want to catch someone off guard where you can get an interrogation successfully, especially in the early round. I'd say sitting somewhere that's nowhere near side is the best strategy because most people are going to push alone there. Then utilizing this in all strategy will make it great, and you'll be just a godly Kavira that no one wants to verse. Next time they see you, they'll probably ban Kavira. So let's just face the facts. Kavira is hella annoying, and I did forget to mention this, but you're probably going to get unlucky in terms of actually playing her in ranked, because she does get banned a shit ton, especially in the low ranks. No one really bans her anymore in my rank, but I'd say gold and below, I see her getting banned a lot, especially on my Smurf accounts for the Duo to Champ and Solo Diamond series, so I don't know. She's just a really interesting operator. Everyone in the low ranks love her, and then as you guys start getting better and better and ranking up, you slowly start to realize that she's not as good as everyone thinks. So that's just my personal opinion on Cav, and otherwise, that's going to be today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys learned something new from Cav. I tried to take a more comedic approach to today's video, try and add it in a little bit more enthusiasm, a little more jokes, a little more entertainment. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this new type of style, and if you did, make sure to let me know down in the comments below so I can make sure to keep up this type of style. If you did enjoy this video and are interested in checking out more of me, the sub button is right below you and it is looking to get pressed. I'd really appreciate if you guys sub to the channel. We are on the road to 10k and I'm getting hella close, and I appreciate all of you guys being part of my first 10,000 subscribers, because you're all legends. There's also a like button down there which will help this video get shared to more Cav mains looking to interrogate the hell out of your mum and dad. So if you guys are interested in checking this out, make sure to go down straight below you, press sub, press the like. I also stream on Twitch if you're interested in my personality, where basically I just get killed a lot and I just complain about the game majority of the time. So if you're interested in checking that out, the link is also in the description down below. So basically to do all three of these things, you just have to scroll down below. I definitely recommend doing it. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.